In the last few weeks, the nerdy world has been rocked with a wild and astonishing revelation. Captain America, one of the most beloved superheroes in existence, is a member of his sworn enemy, Hydra. Two nerds go on a journey to find out exactly what's happening with one of their favorite comic icons and theorize about this development in their world. This is Nerds and Cars Getting Comics. This is a 2010 Dodge Caliber. It's got a 4-cylinder 2.0-liter engine with great gas mileage. It's in a 4-door hatchback configuration. Small, sleek, and red. It's perfect for someone who does a lot of city cruising and doesn't need a lot of power. This will be the stallion we ride on our journey today. I'm your host, Tridus. I'm on my way to pick up my friend and co-host Loki, and together we'll discover the beginning of the true nature of what's going on with Cap.
Gosh, I love Uber.
Yeah.
How's it going, buddy?
Good, how are you?
Oh, great. You ready to get some comics?
Well,
Woo!
as in the now immortal words of Steve Rogers, Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra!
Excellent.
Oh, let's see how that goes.
Indeed.
I don't know. I really don't know how I feel about that, but I guess we'll find out.
No kidding. I wonder if it's just... You think it's a ruse?
Honestly, I don't. I think it's a ploy more than a ruse. Does that make sense?
You mean a ploy on Cap's part to try to fool Hydra? What do you think?
No, I think it's just a ploy by Marvel in general.
Okay.
I don't want to say it's a ruse. I think it's just a failed attempt at a ploy. Essentially, is what it's going to be. I feel that, and like I said, I haven't read the issue. I don't know yet. We're going there to find it. But essentially, I feel that they're trying to do this with the character. And they're legitimately going to try to make this a thing, but it's just going to fail off.
Okay.
That's kind of where I go with the whole ploy aspect instead of a ruse. Because a ruse is like, hey, we're going to fake you, whereas the ploy is like, we're actually going to attempt to do this.
To what end, though? I mean, what's the purpose?
Honestly, I think the purpose was just making their own mark. I mean, if you think about this, you have a character, Captain America, right? Look at him. He has history going how far back? However many years, however many decades. So you have this constructed character with... They already have their strengths, they already have their weaknesses, they have had so much storyline with them already.
Right.
And now here you are. Now imagine yourself as a writer for Marvel. Amazing company, right? Great stories, great comics, love it.
Heck of a gig.
So, and here's the thing. Now they come to you and they say, hey, you are going to be the next writer for Captain America. We want you to take over. How do you take that character and do something that will make your own mark? How do you take this character that's been around for how many decades, for generations that people have loved, and you make something new? You make something that will be a remembrance with him.
You turn it on its head. I mean, that's the one obvious thing.
Exactly. You take him and you slap every other writer that's ever done Captain America right in the face.
Yeah.
You say, this is all your work, but screw you.
But there's a difference between making your mark and making your mark in a way that's not gonna, poo-poo all over everybody, right?
Correct.
And especially a character who's been so iconic for so many years. Who's got such an identity with everybody, with morality, right? And then all of a sudden, you've taken all that time, all that character development, all the storylines and things that have happened to Captain, the things that he's done, and now you're just gonna say, oh, by the way, I'm Hydra. Like, I think none of that meant anything.
Like I said, it pretty much means nothing. Now, I grant there has been some talk, and they have came out and they said that they have been building up to this for the past couple of years.
Sure.
But at the same time, that's only been built up the past couple of years. That still means that all of the other previous years of Captain America have now amounted to nothing.
Mm-hmm. And then what does that say about the movies, too? I mean, I'm not saying that the comics are ever really going to follow the movies and vice versa, but, I mean, now that, especially since Civil War came on, especially the big moral quandary that was in Civil War, right?
Mm-hmm.
how do you now address that? How do you even take one or the other seriously?
You really can't, but I mean, at the same time, the one thing that I can respect from the situation is the movies are so much different from the comics, right?
True.
They take certain aspects of it, and then they make their own. That's the thing. Like, Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, they made it their own. Completely different. The Captain America, while it still holds true, they still made the story their own. They can change certain things without actually botching it. I mean, this is Marvel and Disney. They're not Fox.
No. No. And, yeah, that's something we always have to keep in mind, right? I mean, no matter how any of those movies perform, at least they're not Fox. But still.
At least it's not Fox.
Right.
I mean...
But still, I mean, you can't... When you have a character like Cap, and his entirety of his character is built around that idea of who he is, his morality, his ideals, his, the Noah you move thought process.
And how can you fake that?
Right.
How can you... That's the problem I have with it. I can completely understand a double agent, right? That's perfectly fine. What I can't understand is how you could be a double agent and be that deceptive about it. How you could be a double agent and just still hold true to all of these beliefs that are apparently fake. Well, not necessarily all fake. He could have just twisted them, right?
Sure.
It's a Hydra belief, but that belief, but he twists it and makes it seem more moral than it actually is. And just to have all of these heroes and all these people in this universe look up to you, it's just kind of mind-boggling. That's why I'm kind of excited to read it. I mean, I know a lot of people have been hating on it. It could be getting a little bit of bad rap. Who knows? I think at the very least, it'll be an interesting story, nonetheless. Ooh, we should ride in that car next time.
We should buy a bus.
I mean, I'd be down for a bus. Yeah, we got a charger. We
have a ride.
So many things.
See if we can find a parking spot.
Found it!
Yeah,
Parking! Toy store!
It kind of is a toy store, right?
I mean, for me, it's a toy store.
Right.
Should we go get our candy?
Let's go get our candy.
Let's go get the candy.
All right.
I was just supposed to, and I could like, and even making sure.
I appreciate it.
Come on.
Perfect. There it is.
There we go. Exactly what we needed.
Lovely.
Pointy?
Pointy.
Pointy.
Pointy
Look at
shields?
that. Look at that. It's like a little shooting star going through the cosmos.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Let's check this out.
Let's get these out here. Game on.
All right, let's go. I'm at a loss.
I agree.
I'm also at a loss. Okay. So you mentioned a theory quickly on the issue.
Yeah, just before we started running.
Yeah, so why don't you branch off on that? I'm
So,
intrigued on that.
I wonder, so in the very beginning they talk about this gal who mysteriously comes out of nowhere and saves his mom, Steve's mom from her husband, Joseph. And then the dialogue just implies that she knows who Steve is.
That's exactly my thought, Brett. Like it was like she could see, either she could see into the future or she knew it.
Right, and like knew who Steve would become one day and the kind of person he would become one day. And so my wonder is if this person traveled back in time to influence who Steve Rogers was going to become as he sleep or hydrate.
No, and I like that theory. I think there's one main problem with it, though. That being, if she goes back in time to find Steve, to turn him into this Hydra agent, that could ripple through time and directly cause him not to become Captain America.
Sure, but if the influence is subtle enough, and she knows the history, and she knows how everything's going to turn out, and maybe if she trains him or very specifically, guides him.
It is possible, but I mean,
it's possible.
And I mean, here's another question with it too, because she didn't reach out to Steve. She reached out to his mother.
Right.
What if it's actually his mother who's going to teach him all of this?
Yeah, it might be. I mean, that's biggest influence on a child is their mom.
I don't know. All I gotta say is I'm intrigued. Like I said, I'm not. If they play it right, I think it will work. If they play it right, I think it's gonna work. I personally still feel it's a slap in the face to all the previous Captain America writers that have gone. Like it's just everything they're doing is bad. But I feel that if they do play off something with this whole time travel or anything like that, where it's influenced, then I can see it actually going somewhere. I can see it actually being good. But I gotta say, it makes me want to buy the next one.
Absolutely.
It doesn't make me angry or anything. Like I
want to read it.
This is actually a series that I'm very intrigued with.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow it for
So-
sure. So, and I put in when we're at Level Up, I put in for a request for the next issue. So we'll follow up on it at the end of the month.
Definitely.
Perfect. Well, heck of a night.
Good night. Comic night.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Cheers.
Everyone, pick up an issue of Captain America, the first issue.
Or don't. I'm just kidding. Do it.
You should do it.
Or don't. Because freedom is a choice.
And this is Nerds and Cars Getting Comics.
Toodles.